Welcome back to Selena's table, our little Aussie homestead. I'm out in the garden today. It's quite gusty, so hopefully the audio is okay. I've got baskets. Okay, so what we're going to do is I need to harvest the ginger and the turmeric. It's not the best conditions, as you can see how grey the clouds are. We've been getting a bit of rain, but I need to get it out of the ground. Ideally, if you've grown your own ginger, turmeric, things like that, you want to harvest them when it's dry, but leaving them in the ground right now, I am running the risk of them going soft and gross. And also, I don't have time in the next couple of weeks to actually get out here and harvest them. So we're just going to do it today regardless of weather conditions. Hopefully we don't get rain while we're out here, and hopefully we don't get too many wind gusts. So I've got baskets because I want to separate them. And I also want to grab some turmeric and some beetroots. I've also got beetroot out here that we need to collect because I have seen they're getting really big. Not all of them, so I'm not going to do a big harvest of beetroot, but we are going to collect a few. It's starting to feel like the weather might be turning against us, but that's okay. Alright, so I've also got behind me, which you would have seen just before, a few bags of mushroom compost and cow manure. They are to top up these garden beds when we finish getting the ginger, turmeric out of them. So this is where we're at. So that is our ginger bed, and I have harvested along the way as I've needed some ginger, but because we are dying, we are going to pull this out because it's getting wet. If we weren't getting rain at the moment and it was a little drier, I could let them die off a bit more, but because we've started getting rain again and it's cold, they are dying. I just want to get them out of the ground. And over there, that's the turmeric, and we're kind of in the same position. We're sort of half dead, but not quite there. Dig these out. Got some gloves because it's pretty muddy dirt, and there's a basket for the ginger, so I'll pop it. I don't know where we're going to go. There on top. Now these, if you pull, these stems should just come out. So I'm just going to put them to the side. I'll use those stems as worm food in one of my little compost things. But to make digging these out a bit easier, I'm just going to pull them off because they're quite fragile because they're half dead. There we go. A little bit of ginger and a weed. There we go. That I was just throwing them back in as I was harvesting the ginger that I wanted at the time over the last sort of month or two. Alright, there's one. There. One's heavy. Alright, two hands, let's see. size of this. That's enormous. Now, if you were with me when we planted this ginger, you remember they were just little small ones, and you'll probably find some of them still in here, but yeah, they're real big now, and that's not even all of it. Keep going. Another huge one. There. So this is one of the original planted pieces, that little bit there. That bit there is new growth. Now apparently you can still eat these, like the seed part that we planted, a bit tougher, and we will have a look at it when I clean it all up and go to process it. And we will be setting some of this ginger aside to replant in the spring. I just break off those little shoots. I'd rather leave the organic matter in the ground than bring it inside. Okay, that's the ginger harvested, and oh my gosh, there was actually so much more than I expected. Out of this one tiny little pallet bed, essentially it's no bigger than a container, a couple of big pots. So what I will do is I'm going to put a bit of cow manure in here and a bag of mushroom compost. Give that a bit of a mix up, and then we'll move over to. So I have poured half a bag of this manure in here. But at this point it's not really manure-like. When I built these other beds, or when my husband built them for me, and I helped him load them with the dirt and things like that, we did buy the manure, the compost, mushroom compost, and our garden soil from a landscape supply like store that either delivers it or we go and load the trailer up. But when I'm topping up my gardens, especially if they're these small beds like this or the skinny birdies ones, I am happy to just grab a couple of bags of mushroom compost and manure, and sometimes even compost from Bunnings. Don't always love the compost. I am still trying to make my own, but that's something for another day. I will add this whole bag of mushroom compost to this one. I do have some leftover propagating sand. I'm just going to add that give it a bit of a dig to mix it. How good is my shovel? The handle broke. Now I'll just put these ginger tops on top to act as like a natural mulch. This bed will now rest until I'm ready to plant in it. I have left a gap of about a pallet, 10 centimeters. If I decide I want to actually plant in this sooner than spring, I will just top it up with some more soil and start planting and just leave that underneath. Let's go to the turmeric. Same as the ginger, I'm just going to pull out what I can of the tops. And I actually have some zinnias in here still. They will be sacrificed, unfortunately. And I realised I was going to do a video on saving my zinnia seeds and I completely forgot about it and pulled them all out. So they won't be coming out anytime soon. I will do it at some point and show you how I save zinnia seeds and other seeds in the garden. I have got radishes, lettuce, and I think peas going to seed at the moment, which I'm keeping for harvesting seed. So I can show you that, but when they are ready to be collected, I'll collect them and hopefully I remember to film it and I don't just toss them out. So these zinnias will end up just going. Right, there's the turmeric. We planted the turmeric together. It's very similar to garlic, to ginger, sorry, in that it's the same, it's a rhizome. Okay, that's the root that you eat. And then you've got the plant part there. I will just keep these rhizomes in my basket. Really in there. Turmeric seems to snap off a bit easier than ginger too, so I don't really want to break it. Oh, did anyway. See, all this dirt would come off a lot easier if it was dry, but that's a lot there. Oh, hello. Potato. That's a potato from, I think the season before was when we had potatoes planted in this barrel. But yeah, so there's the turmeric. I'm going to have to give it a wash to really show you how much there is in there. So I'm going to add that other half a bag of manure to this barrel pot and another bag of compost, and then I'll use the tops. I'll use those as a mulch layer on top, the same as I did the ginger. This thing is for my compost bin. I'll see if it helps turn the soil at all. Yeah, that works. So I have one of these corkscrew things. Stop my dirt mixture from drying out, and it will break down and end up going back into the soil. Doesn't look the prettiest, but it's helpful to reuse the rubbish. And like I said, if I do want to plant in this before that's broken down enough, I will just put some dirt on top. So the next job on the list was grabbing some beetroot. Come over here, you'll see, if we come over here, you see we have these ones, but they're a bit young. Not ready to pick them yet, but I have spotted we've got a few pumpkins coming in, and yep, the grass is growing again. Some hiding in the fence there, and another one over here. These are a Jap pumpkin. They're my favourite eating that I've had so far. That's not quite dried out. When that's nice and crispy and dry like the rest of it there, when this bit here is dry, we can harvest this, but he's not ready yet. So we're going to go over there and see what those beetroot are doing. And you'll see behind me the tomatoes are hanging off their vines. And yes, it is July when I'm filming this, so we are in winter and we are growing tomatoes, so I'm pretty happy with that. And if you saw my recent video on using frozen tomatoes to make tomato soup, I think some of these are going to be headed for the freezer because for next year, I guess, because yeah, we are not going to be able to eat them as fast as they're coming in. I've got a heap inside ripening on the bench. This here is the beetroot I want to show you. They would be the biggest ones we have, and although the bed goes right down there, it's kind of this section here. I'm just going to pull out the really big ones. That one. You can see it's pretty decent in size, because last year we had rodents move in once the beetroot got really big and started to nibble, and I did lose a few of the big ones. So So what I am going to do is just harvest a few of these big ones and just start processing them. So the biggest thing that we use beetroot for is like pickled beetroot, tinned beetroot. So these ones I'll start canning up into a pickle solution and water bath can them and start restocking my pantry. I will probably do another video at some stage on a bigger quantity when the majority are ready to be picked, but I just don't want to lose any this year. We've had a few failures, as you would know if you've been following along, and I just need some wins. Beetroot's a win at the moment. Really big. Don't know if the camera is actually going to pick up how decent that is. Big, and we've already had someone try to share. By pulling out these big ones too, any that were close, like that was, to these two, is going to give them a bit more room to get bigger. They're all quite a bit smaller. There's one just there that I'll get. Oh, throw it away. Oh, throw it away again. And I had one more in that bed there. You can see there's a couple more plants there. This was the one that was ready. You can see splitting at the top. Definitely needs to come out. So there's my basket of beetroot. They're a bit more than I actually thought. So that'll do a good handful of bottles of our tinned beetroot. So there's the beetroot basket, ginger basket, and the turmeric basket. And I need to give these a wash. I don't want the dirt coming inside, so I'll wash them off. And then I have one more thing that I want to grab after I've washed those and I'm ready to go inside, and that's some coriander. I have let it go a little too long. I need to pick that coriander and process it. So there's a couple of things I'll end up doing with it. One of them is I will put it in the dehydrator, and I will show you a video on that soon, and it'll be the leaves that I'm dehydrating. So dehydrated coriander leaves are different to the powder that you buy. Dehydrated coriander seed that you then grind, that's the powder that you buy as a spice. Okay, so other countries call coriander cilantro when it's in its leaf form. We call it coriander here regardless of leaf or seed. So I will be dehydrating some of those, and I'll also probably make a bit of a coriander herb paste, and I will freeze that, but that'll be in a future video. Grabbed a couple of snow peas, so I'm gonna grab a snack out here and give these things a wash. So I will wash these off into this bed so that I don't lose dirt that I have spent money on or time. beautiful and clean. Washed beetroot ready to come in. I will need to dry this ginger and turmeric really well. So what I'll probably end up doing is putting down some cardboard or something outside on the veranda and just letting it dry. Once it's dried out, then I can look at what I want to do with it. There's so much more than I actually thought I was going to get, so yeah, grow your own ginger. Look at the size of that, and look how beautiful it is. And there's our basket of turmeric. I had to run inside and grab another basket for some coriander. As you can see, it's gone to flour. I'm just going to dry it anyway. I'm going to pick it anyway. I'll leave some here because we will still use fresh coriander, but I want to get a lot of this out here so that there's some other herbs can breathe. And also, because it's gone to flour, we are running out of time to use it. So I'm going to harvest a bunch of that to use in future projects. So as you can see, I've left a heap in here, and I've got this basket full, and this is one of my biggest baskets, so got more than enough. Now ideally you would have wanted to pick this coriander a while ago, before it got flowers or tiny seed, but we'll still use it. It's still edible, it's just like not tender, so the stems will be woody. We'll probably strip them, as in take the leaves off. Whereas if this was fresher, like younger, if this was younger coriander, we could just eat the stems easily along with the leaves. So it's more, it's just nicer. It's not that it's not edible if it goes to flour. Okay, it doesn't become bitter like rocket and things like that do. Yeah, but we can still definitely use it. We're not going to waste the fact that we haven't been able to harvest it early. We got a little bee come to say hi. So there's the coriander basket. Next spring, so that's when we'll be putting these things back in the ground. Thank you for spending time with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I really appreciate every single one of you. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Thank you for all the comments. And I've got some work ahead of me. I'll see you next week. Bye.